Adam Delderfield. I work with Bitmain. I've been with this company a little over a year now, and I'm going to take 15 minutes of your time to talk about how Bitmain supports mining farm development and how we cooperate with the various parties involved. That also involves, of course, rural development in South Carolina and other parts of the country. This is essentially Bitmain writ large. We offer a wide variety of solutions in the market. Everyone is going to be familiar with the first one listed, miners. So you see integrated solutions, miners. I'll put on the next slide our latest products, but essentially wherever there is mining at scale, there are ant miners. Bitmain produces and develops the top of the market miners for Bitcoins. Wherever mining is done at scale, there are ant miners. We also offer containers and other solutions. So if you took, say, our latest product, the most efficient and powerful one on the market, hydros, you're not going to plonk it down on your desk and just plug it in. You're going to need a way to pump the water through it and make sure it's running properly. And so we offer containers for the hydro miners. That includes a shipping container style box with all the necessary hookups and everything, and also a water tower that's going to pump the water through. And of course, we offer all the information and support that's needed to get it running. So we don't just sell the miners, but we also offer the infrastructure and make sure you understand how to work it. You'll see hosting as well. Now, hosting obviously involves miners and the infrastructure, but we found that there are data centers that are either being constructed and going online in the near future or are currently existing and expanding, and they need miners to use that capacity. Then there are parties that already own miners, but they aren't plugged in. They need to find a good home for the miners. So part of the way we also support the market is not only are we producing the miners and the infrastructure to run the miners, but we are also forming agreements where possible and appropriate with data centers for hosting services. And then also connecting with people with excess miners and connecting them to the data center via that contractual relationship. So although Bitmain, the corporate entity Bitmain, is not doing self-mining, we recognize that there are people with miners that need to be plugged in, and there are people with excess capacity that needs to be used. And so we bring them together. And of course, Bitmain has strong logistics, supply chain, and a lot of expertise in maintaining and repairing it. So we can also play a role in this negotiated, like, tripartite agreement where we make sure the miners get to their destination, we make sure the miners have all the necessary operations and maintenance work available to them. And finally, you see operations there. I'm actually referring to training there. So again, we support, and this will touch on the rural part here in South Carolina as well, we support the education and training and certification of people, because you can't have Bitcoin mining at scale in these large data centers without people to run them. There needs to be human capital. And if the data centers and the mining is going to continue to grow, we need more and more people who have the expertise to do so. And so we have the Ant Miner Maintenance Training Center. They run operations training, open to the general public, and maintenance and repair training, again, open to the general public. And it's certified people so that they know how to work in a data center, and they know how to do basic repair work and understand how the machines work. And also, when the new data center goes online, we can go in and make a custom training program for that data center. And so to speak, not to a particular site, but what you might find is maybe there is a factory that was a good source of employment for a local community, and that factory shut down. But of course, the factory is still there. There's still electricity. The substation's still there. There's still a potential for this site. So someone decides to turn it into a data center. And there's a lot of human capital that previously worked in that factory, talented people, but they've never worked with ant miners before. They've never done Bitcoin mining. And so now we've got a potential site for a data center. It needs human capital to run it. And now the AMTC can come in and ensure that that local community, that rural area, can adapt to this new purpose of the factory. And so it revitalizes the area, and the locals can use their talents repurposed to a data center environment. And so now, not only have we provided the miners and advised on the infrastructure or sold the containers, and made sure via hosting that there are machines to plug in if they don't already have enough, but also the people in the area who are going to run this data center are also now properly trained and have this new skill set. Because again, they already had a skill set, but now it just needs to be tailored to a data center environment. We also offer strong support to anyone we partner with. Obviously, if someone's going to set up a data center, they have some financial capital or backing of their own, but we can also help them make new connections. And we have certain financial plans and methods to make sure they can obtain the equipment. In a later slide, I'm going to talk about consignment to own, for example. We can also advise them on the technology, make sure it's all set up properly. And we can also use our supply chain to make sure that they can get whatever they need where it needs to be. I mean, we are a global company. We ship all over the world and all throughout the US. We make sure things arrive where they need to be, when they need to be there. And so that whole logistics chain, that whole back office operations, Bitmain can support particular entities with that. And finally, also after sales. The miners, Bitmain is providing the best of the market miners, but any miner needs maintenance. And sometimes, accidents could happen. What if someone has a little too much fun at lunch and they drive a forklift into the side of a container and they skewer the power box or something? Someone needs to go in there and replace that. They need some sort of aftermarket support. Presumably, the skewered power box is going to need to be replaced. And so Bitmain also has that, which we can use to support the market. Worldwide coverage, I'm not going to list them. Everyone's seen a map here. We're everywhere. Wherever there's Bitcoin mining at scale, there's Antminers. That product is crucial to the market. We manufacture at scale, and we spend a lot of time and effort ensuring that it's the best technology there is, which is why it's used literally everywhere. Wherever you go to a Bitcoin mining data center, you'll find Bitmain products. There's no one in Antarctica yet, so maybe if that happens, let me know. I'll update the slide. Continuous improvement, again, mining technology. There's a reason why any Bitcoin mining at scale involves Antminers. Bitmain, last I checked, is about 600 employees, and a lot of those people are very well educated, very hardworking, researching and developing the best machines that can be produced and manufactured. And then there's also a lot that goes into just supply chain and obtaining the resources and everything to make that possible. So continually improving, we have a lot of staff dedicated to that internally to make sure that we continue to make the best products possible. Data center quality. Because we have these relationships with literally every single data center, we also have the training program, the AMTC, Antminer Maintenance Training Center. We wind up sharing a lot of information about how to produce the best data centers possible and providing information on how these models work and the conditions they need, and to ensure that everyone gets 100% out of the machines, or as close as they can to that number. And that goes into operation and maintenance standards. Again, we offer certification. We offer custom training packages for particular sites. We want to make sure that there is a human capital available to ensure this market can keep growing. Because it's not just, here's a lot of money, let's build a data center. Who's going to staff it? Who's going to repair or maintain the machines? So we're continually producing up-to-date training methods and programs, both online and in person. I myself went to a operations training in West Virginia. In East Kentucky, and I did a maintenance and repair training program in West Virginia. So we do it throughout the US as well. And again, out in West Virginia, we had local partners, and we went and they would give us an office space, or we would share an office space and bring in all the materials and make sure everyone in the area was able to attend. And they themselves then got certified and could, of course, enter this industry. And if there was a data center in the area going up, they could, of course, apply there. Now, we don't own the data center, but we at least ensured they had potential people to man it. This is a hydro. This is our latest model. It's the most economically efficient, highest performance. What I like about it in particular is you see in the bottom left-hand corner here, the container. You see a sort of a shipping container where they're all inside, and then next to that is you can't see it very well, but there's a water tower as well. And so I've seen these deployed at sites. They just plunk it down on a flat surface, they can get it running, and you get your hydros going. They're quiet, convenient, and people seem to like them. Yeah, if you have any questions about ordering these machines, please come over to our booth. I won't take too much time in this talk about them, but these are our latest sort of flagship models, the hydros. New technology, efficient, quiet, and I've seen large data centers put these down, and they seem to like them. So I've made the title too long. It's gone over the line. But anyway, this is consignment to own. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what this is like. Essentially, let's have an example where someone wants to make a data center. So they've got this site, it has the electrical capacity, they have the people ready to work it, but they don't have any machines and they don't have any infrastructure at all. Maybe it's just an empty building or just a flat plane with concrete. It's just flat ground. And they say, well, we're a data center, but we don't have any machines. And we don't have perhaps the capital to order them all right now. One of the options that we've explored recently and that we want to explore more in the future is providing the Hydra containers for people to use. And so we would provide the containers, the infrastructure that would make it a real data center. And in exchange, the data center is not paying for them right off the bat. The data center instead forms or negotiates an agreement with Bitmain for hosting. Because then Bitmain may well know other parties that have a lot of unplugged machines that need a place or a home. So now we've got a data center that we provided all the infrastructure for free, and then we form a preferential price level hosting agreement. And then we go talk to the people who need their machines plugged in and we say, hey, here's this great hosting deal, go host your machines over there. So now the data center has the infrastructure provided without having to put up the cash up front, and they have machines running in them now paying hosting fees at a preferential rate. After a year, they own the containers free and clear, and they may well have negotiated a deal where they can purchase those machines after the year at the right price point. So now after a year, they have all this infrastructure that they own free and clear, and they have all these machines that they may have an option to purchase. And they know these machines, they've been using them, so they know if they're stable, if they like them, and they have expertise in doing it. So now you have after a year, you have a fully fledged data center, and this is just one of the ways that we provide a financial option. We're also always interested in the environment and where the electricity comes from. You know, when we partner with people, one of the questions we often ask, or even if we're just discussing potential plans for new data centers or just learning about the market, we always ask, what's the source of electricity? We want to hear that the source of electricity is going to be hydroelectric, or it's going to be solar, or it's going to be wind, or even nuclear. But if we hear it's coal, not so much. But on the other hand, we also purchase carbon offsets, and we basically have tried to build a culture of being environmentally conscious. But we are always very excited to hear about, say, hydroelectric sources of electricity, because we want to minimize the impact that Bitcoin mining has on the environment, or actually make it a net positive, because the mining, as you can see at the, I'm not sure if you can read it, but right at the end, we also try to figure out ways to reuse the heat generated. And so therefore the mining can perhaps have a positive effect, heating a building in winter, say. Finally, it's the Global Authorized Repair Center Hub Network. That's a mouthful, but basically if you wanted aftermarket support, you're going to need to have these centers throughout the US that can quickly repair and maintain the machines. And so I'm not going to read this out because I'm hitting up against 15 minutes, but basically if you have any questions about our repair centers or how you can partner with them, please come talk to us at the booth. But essentially we are always on the lookout for potential partners for repair centers because we want a strong aftermarket support presence in this country and around the world. Thank you.